Happy lunch hour, guys. I want to do something here as a thought exercise for you guys. Preppers are really good at planning things and backups to backups. That includes ideas, knowledge, et cetera, et cetera. We've all heard the stories about the doomsday clock and what's going on with Russia, Ukraine, and the threat of nuclear war, and China and these balloons, and God knows what. Okay. And I'm not trying to tell anybody that nuclear war is inevitable or not going to World War III. Okay. Could it happen? Yes. Okay. Is it? No, not yet. All right. Who knows when? None of us have a crystal ball. But what do you do? What's going to be your plan if all of a sudden, the emergency alert system comes up and says nuclear weapons have started to be used in Europe? Where are you going to go? You going to stay home? Okay. Depends on where you are. Maybe it's a good idea. Maybe it's not. So figure out where to go. There was a survey that came out this morning, worldwide survey, and I'll show you some of this, of the most dangerous places in the world. Now, this has nothing to do with nuclear, but it's part of what I want to show you. All right. This is crime. So I want you to think of this first. If we go completely tits up, where are going to be the absolute places in the world you don't want to be? Okay. Because think of the book 1 Second After or anything like that. Where are the gangs and everything going to completely take over like that? Okay. So look at this. This is the top 25. And I think it's not going to surprise anybody that Caracas, Venezuela is up there. You look in the, top 10 or whatever it is. I think it is top 20, maybe. Top 20. 4 cities in South Africa. Funny as I've been to 3 of them. So, strange. Papua New Guinea, Kabul, Afghanistan. I think we'd all agree with some. Brazil is on there quite a bit. And then you look at the ones in the United States that I highlighted. Baltimore, Memphis, Detroit, Albuquerque. In any sort of SHTF situation, these are towns you want to get out of immediately. Okay? If you live anywhere near now, I hope to God you got bug out plans. All right. So then let's take a look over at 26 through 50. All right. St. Louis, New Orleans, Oakland, Milwaukee, Chicago, Philly, Cleveland, Houston. I don't think those come as any big surprise that these are some of the most dangerous cities in the United States. But I want you to look at some of the other ones that are there. Okay. Or more importantly, not there. Juarez, Mexico is not there. It's been the murder capital of the world for a long time. I'll give you this one. Kyiv, Ukraine, 212th on the list. Okay. You think a war is bad? Yeah, try living in Philly. You got a better chance of dying in Philly than you do being shot by the Russians. Just saying. All right. But so if you live in any of those cities or near any of those cities, you want a GTFO. Okay. I mean, if you live there now, okay, fine. But if all of a sudden the world looks like it's going to go to war, go to collapse, whatever it is, get in the car, be ahead of the game. All right. So then the next thing I looked at was where to go. All right. And I put this, my research was kind of interesting on this one. The criteria that I used were small towns, okay? Don't want to be going to any metropolis. So I wanted to go to small towns that had a population of less than 10,000. Towns that had plenty of fresh water available. Towns that had good soil and accessibility to it and to the water for growing food and raising livestock. Okay. And that was several hundred miles away from potential targets, nuclear power plants, and military installations. Okay. Because where are any bad guys, i.e. foreign entities, going to go? That's going to be the first place. Okay. And where are the criminal element also going to go? My guess is the criminal element is not going to be heading out to the woods somewhere to see what's out there. They're going to be going from city to city to city to city to see what they can, rape, pillage, burn, whatever it would be. Okay. So I put all this on a map so that you guys can take a look at where you are and see what I've come up with. If you guys disagree with me, that's totally cool. All right. But I wanted you to see this map. Okay. Now, the black dots on this map are all the dangerous cities that I just mentioned. Okay. So you can figure out what that is. I went and I looked up all the primary targets for nuclear war against the United States. Those are all the red dots, okay? And I kind of spread them out to go a couple of 100 miles because you figure that's going to be radiation, that's going to be fallout, whatever it would be. Not taking into account wind patterns and blowing and anything like this. And figure, okay, this is from ground zero and say a couple of 100 miles away. All the yellow dots with the stars in them, those are came up with 11. Out of all the areas in the United States, I came up with 11 towns, guys, that should be the target of where you are going based on the criteria: the water, away from military installations, good soil, et cetera, all right? It's kind of funny because a lot of people, us, preppers, already happen to live there. What a concept, okay? And I'll go through the cities here so you can look. But, if you go from right to left, looking along the Ohio border down to Tennessee, what do you have? The Appalachian Mountains. That wouldn't be a big surprise. Let's look in the center of the country. Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma. What's all that in? Oh, that would be the heart of the Ozarks, guys. Gee, where do a lot of preppers go? All right. Then you look at some other ones. Now, I'm going to go through these cities and I'm going to kind of explain why maybe you want to take some of them potentially off the list. All right, but let me get over here. So, if I look at the three in the Appalachians, Pikeville, Tennessee, what is that? Pennsboro, West Virginia, and West Liberty, Kentucky. Might want to look those up on a map and just maybe do a little bit of research for 20 minutes on whatever one's close to you, okay? If we look at the Ozarks, okay, that'd be Thayer, Missouri, Mountain Home, Arkansas, and Red Oak, Oklahoma, okay? Those would be ones to potentially look at there. Then as we move a little bit more westward here and go back along, so let's look at Texas, what we've got down there. And that's Sierra Blanca, Texas. Now, that met the criteria, but one of the criteria I didn't put in was, okay, if troops are coming up from the south, they're going to come up the Texas border, okay? If something crazy goes on, I don't have to tell you guys about what's going on the Texas-Mexican border right now, okay? So that's just something to take into consideration if that's a target, okay? Go over to Utah, Cedar City, Utah. Been there, okay? Cedar City, Utah is literally in the middle of freaking nowhere, okay? I can't tell you how many times I made the drive from Salt Lake City to Las Vegas. All right, it's right on the drive. You are in the mountains. This is, you think like Red Rocks, Moab, stuff like that. This is that kind of area here, okay? So, yes, very remote, very good possibility. And then again, want to remember, Mormons are, part of their religion is prepping. Just give you an idea. Going up to Nevada, Carlin, Nevada. Been up there, okay? You are talking about desolate area, nothing around, a lot of desert, high desert, if you will. And you're not going to find a whole lot of people, okay? And there's nothing around. This would be a good place to go because nobody's going to. You got to drive I-80 all the way between Salt Lake City and literally Reno. There ain't a whole lot there, guys. So might be a place to look into. North Dakota is an interesting one. Herringer, North Dakota. Now, I know everybody says, okay, North Dakota's got the issues with nuclear missile silos there. Sure, they do. But again, I stayed miles and miles away from this. No, I've never been to North Dakota at all, so I can't tell you anything here. The only downside I would look at this one is you better be going from the Montanas, the Minnesotas, or whatever if you're going here, because you're going to get those harsh winters, and you need to be prepared for that. And I know for like me, my preps do not have the equipment that would get me doing fine in a North Dakota winter. So thinking about what you want to do. And then finally, you have one out in Oregon. Okay. And this is Corvallis, Oregon. Now, you're along the coast. Is that going to be a good idea? I don't think so. All right. So there's a couple in my list that, well, they meet the criteria for being a good place to low crime, low people density, good soil, water, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. If in the event of a war, maybe not. But if you've got 9 good areas, Utah, Northern Nevada, North Dakota, you've got to think about parts of South Dakota. It'd probably be, you look where that is. It's on the border. Okay. The Ozarks, the Appalachians, that's what you guys got to look at. Because if you look at this map, you're on the East Coast, you're screwed. You're on the West Coast, you're in trouble. Okay. So if anything, spend 15 minutes and go, all right, honey, we live in Pittsburgh. Where would we go? How would we get there? Don't think the interstate. Okay. Gee, honey, we live in Denver. Where would we go? How would we get there? If anything, it's a little bit of peace of mind just in case good old Vlad or good old G decide to go push. You have an idea where to go. I mean, by the time they go push, it's probably a little late. Okay. But if something starts happening somewhere else, you have at least a little bit of head start on everybody else to beat feet. And you're not going to be running around like with your hair on fire going, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? Honey, grab your bug out bag, throw it in the car. Let's go. We're out of here. Destination X. And you've already got it on the map. These are the roads we're taking. Done. A little preparation, guys. 15 minutes is all it takes for you to look at a map. No, you are here. You want to go here. Just like the freaking mall used to be. That's it. Pinball out.